Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is semi-final time here now at the 2025 National Fastpitch Championship. And in the major semi-final here now at Fraser Park Ballpark is Canterbury versus North Harbour. That's right, you heard it, folks. One of these teams will go directly to the grand final at the conclusion of this match, which is due to play tomorrow. It's 1 o'clock, I believe. And the answer of who that will be in about 7 innings' time will tell us. Beautiful evening here at Fraser Ballpark. I'm Gary Rohihi from Beyond the Dugout Broadcasting. I will be joined very shortly by another commentator. Craig Wallace has just had to pull away from the commentary booth for a few secs. We are in the top of the first innings, ladies and gentlemen, and it is North Harbour who are 2 runs up, courtesy of a home run by Seth Gibson. Caleb Rona was their leadoff. He was already out of first base. Seth Gibson stepped up to the plate and launched one over the left field fence for a 2-run home run. Pitarona came up next and he got struck out. And now we are looking at Hohepa Monk in the batter's box. And that means following him will be Hugh Davies in the batting order. We'll finish it off. Brock Attewell, Josh Kingy, Curtis Tompkins, and Levi Wilson will round out the batting order for North Harbour. There we see a nice hit at shortstop. Well taken. And it's umpire McManus who calls that for the 3rd out. 3 down. Top of the first innings, 2-0 to North Harbour. We'll be back with more action in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're into the bottom of the first innings here in the major semi-final of the 2025 National Fastpitch Championship here at Fraser Park in what is a absolutely stunningly beautiful evening. Sunshine everywhere, high temperatures, a bit of a light breeze, perfect conditions for softball, in other words. We'll just quickly run you through the batting lineup for Canterbury. They're going to be led off by number 16, Callum Bishop, followed by Leon Lum, and then Jackson Watt, Tyron Bartarillo, followed by Bailey Hamilton and Josh Lubowiski, Mitchell Finney, and then Cam Watts. Curtis Dove comes in the 9th spot to complete their batting order. Defensively for North Harbour, out of right field, Hohepa Monk, Levi Wilson at centre, Nick Lanigan at left, Caleb Rona at shortstop, Josh Kingy in the hot corner, Brock Attewell at second base, home run hitter Seth Gibson at first, Curtis Thompson doing the catching to the big guy out on the hill, Pitarona. Fires one into Callum Bishop, the lead-off hitter. North Harbour fireworks at the top of the first innings. Home run by Seth Gibson. They lead the ball game by 2-0. Rona firing it into Curtis Tompkins. Rears back to go now. Hits the outside of the corner of the plate for a strike. The sun very much starting to lengthen the shadows here at Fraser Park. So the outfielders, if you see them start to get peppered, will definitely be earning their money tonight. Fine rising delivery. Sees Callum Bishop try to catch up with it for a strike. And there we go. Pitarona strikes out the first batter. Callum Bishop heads back to the dugout. He'll be replaced by number 11, Leon Alum. It was North Harbour who came into this game as the top qualifier and have looked very much the quality of the tournament throughout so far. I'm sure Canterbury will have something to say about that. They came in courtesy of a tight victory over Auckland. So they've literally walked off that diamond, had about a 20-minute rest, and have had to come on to this diamond to play in this major semi-final. 5-4, they won that game over Auckland. This pitch, a little bit too far inside this time for umpire Tony Kairuna to call. He's joined by his cohorts in blue out there. Out at first base is Mark Porteous. Lance Brown at second base. And Nikki Ogier, fresh off the plate duties for the women's major semi-final, out at third base. There's a hit into shallow centre field by Leon Lum. Gets Canterbury going in this one with a runner at one. There you see the umpire graphic there. Nicola Ogier at third base. Did a great job in that major semi-final for the women's competition. Of course, that game won by, wait for it, Hutt Valley into the grand final. Magnificent display. After Auckland took them to a tiebreaker, they made no race of the tiebreaker and ran out clear winners in the end of what was a fantastic game of softball. Not all over for Auckland, though. They'll get another opportunity to reach that grand final. As we see Rona come in. And it is Jackson Watt who swings hard at that pitch. Jackson Watt, the right fielder for Canterbury. Powerfully built individual. He can hit the ball very hard. This time he's hit it hard and high. The fielders are converging at second base. Brock Attawell does everything absolutely textbook to take the second out here in the bottom of the first innings. There you see the replay there. Attawell keeps the glove high, keeps the ball in front of his eyes, and takes the catch for the second out. Number 8, Tyrone Bartarillo it is, who launches the first bail ball into space and is caught out at left field and also becomes the third out. One innings complete. It's North Harbour that will lead the ball game by 2-0 over Canterbury. We'll be back in just a minute. More action. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are now into the second innings of this major grand final between North Harbour and Canterbury. Up to bat, number 4, Brock Atiawa, who earlier in the ball game against Wellington launched one down the left field that would have gone out of the park if it wasn't for those fully mature Pahutakawa trees that line the park out there. As you can see in the shot right there behind Ben Watts, who's about to rear back. Fires one through the zone. Atiawa has a big swing at it. Good to see Ben Watts back in the attack for Canterbury. Well-respected, highly respected pitcher. This time it's just been knocked down by Atiawa, who scoots down first base, but he can't beat the throw. He becomes the first out. Nice job by Atiawa. Nice job by the coaching staff of North Harbour, just mixing things up a bit. That'll bring to bat number 25, Josh Kingy. Bang, bang play there. Mark Porteous. Yes, you're out.
Stay on the game, bro. Let's get to this game started.
This one's launched high, straight over centre field. He's going back. It's going deep, and it's out of the yard, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Kingy has launched a solo home run, and the North Harbour attack continues on Canterbury. Canterbury, early on in this ball game, have gapped. North Harbour have gapped Canterbury by 3-0, courtesy of 2 home runs. Been a feature of Diamond 1 play throughout the week. We're in day 3 of competition. I haven't kept count of how many home runs there have been, but we're well into double figures by now. Curtis Tompkins, it is up to bat. Top of the second innings. And at the moment, the Canterbury batters are liking what Ben Watts is dishing up. Just the one out it is. There's a nice spot. Has a long look back at umpire Kairuna. Thinking, TK, where was that one? A little bit too far off the plate. These two teams went to battle on day 1. And already we got a stark contrast to that game. We're after 6.5 innings of work. It was 0-0 and very much a pitcher's ball game until the bottom of the 7th innings, as we see Curtis Tompkins hits one back to Ben Watts, who takes the second out. Bottom of the 7 innings in that game on day 1, it was Brock Atiawa who hit a solo walk-off home run for North Harbour to win that ball game. So already this game is shaping up to be a different prospect, as that replay shows the out. Batter could see the writing on the wall because he went the whole way with the bat in his hand. Number 24 it is, Levi Wilson, up to bat for North Harbour. Wilson tries to lay the bat on that one. Doesn't get it near it. for a strike. We've already seen Callum Ryan, the North Harbour coach, mix things up a bit. Hasn't been afraid to go to the short game already this early in the ball game. As we see Canterbury. I know they've got current Black Sox pitcher Liam Potts in their roster, but he did pitch that last game against Auckland. So it'll be interesting to see who they go to. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Levi Wilson. Nice loud call there from Tony Kairuna, a foul. Canterbury breathed a sigh of relief on that one, as Levi Wilson legged it down to the first baseline. Probably would have beaten the throw. This time, Ben Watts gets the job done. It's Canterbury. 3 down, but they're 3 behind against North Harbour here in this major semi-final. We'll be back with more action in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and there is the icon in the Hutt Valley. That's right, it's the Avalon Tower, formerly Television New Zealand. Still a bit of TV production goes on in there, I do believe. But that is one of the backdrops for this magnificent setting. Diamond 1 here at Fraser Park, where it is major semi-final time, and we've got Canterbury and North Harbour going tooth and nail. It's North Harbour that have stolen all the early advantage. Number 19, Bailey Hamilton from Canterbury, into bat now. We saw him in club competition, I think, national clubs last year. Oh, I believe it was probably all year. Batting extremely well. He hits the ball very hard. Does Bailey Hamilton. And Canterbury are going to need it at some stage. Now, Pitarona, he's kind of worked his way, as we see a lovely graphic of his pitching style, and he's just attempted his by now world famous changeup, and there's a much better example of it right there. Just took the speed off it. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Bailey Hamilton, and he is one of the world's best exponents of that changeup. I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that one's a judge to be hit by pitch. And Bailey Hamilton heads down to 1. Curtis Tompkins is just asking the question of whether he actually pushed the knee into the path of the ball. No go this time. It's Bailey Hamilton safe at first base. And that's a nice lead-off for Canterbury. Josh Lubowiski comes into bat now. He's a tall young batter. Number 17 for Canterbury. One of the few players on the diamond here this week that can nearly see eye to eye with Pitarona. Fires a beautiful dropping ball on the outside of the plate, and he wastes no time in striking out Lubowiski. Designated player in this one. Hill goes back to the dugout to be replaced by number 12, Mitchell Finney. Mitchell Finney, the left-hander for Canterbury. We see the Steelers on. Lovely throw. And it was Tompkins got that one right on the button. And as quick as Brock Attawell is, he couldn't quite get there in time to affect the tag. Nice play on the replay. That is a very close call. So the runner advances to 2, 1 down, Mitchell Finney. Up to bat. Playing for Canterbury, he's rocking the Papanui hat. Papanui representing on the helmet there. Hits one hard out to second base. It's Attawell that eats that one up, fires it across the first. But not before the runner advances to 3. Ideal opportunity now with number 15, Cam Watts, the catcher for Canterbury. Experienced enough to know what to do with this opportunity. Nice go-ahead pitch from Pitarona. Gets the early strike on Cam Watts. Cam Watts, of course, a Black Sox catcher, in recent years. But also has a very fine batter. As he fouls that one off. Probably tried to get the bat away from that in many respects. Cuts that one backward a point for 4 runs. Sorry, I blanked out for a second there. Told you I could be entertaining. This time it's gone past the catcher, and it's Canterbury who are going to score a run on the pass ball. Nice work from Cam Watts. The ball goes past. He's at 1. But more importantly from Canterbury, the runner has scored. "3-1 it is now. North Harbour up on Canterbury. Canterbury just looking for a runner for Cam Watts. Of course, the 2 down catcher rule. That will be the last out, which of course was Mitchell Finney, who puts his Papanui hat back on and gets out there ready to do some running. And the new batter will be number 3, Curtis Dove. Just jumps out of the box on that one. You can see what Curtis Dove's intention was there. He's looking to get that running start. He's a tall, lean left-hander. Can really scamper around the bases. Reaches out for that one. Nice pitch from Pitarona. Ideal spot to put that, to counter that running slap. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Curtis Dove here. A runner at 1. This time he has laid the bat on. It's going into shallow outfield. It lands in field territory. And that's a nice job done by Curtis Dove. He advanced the runner to 2. He's standing up at 1. They get back to the top of the order, which will be Callum Bishop. Callum Bishop, number 16 for Canterbury. Hits one hard. It's a high hopper out towards second base. We've got the runner coming around, and he slides in to score. He gets taken out. Curtis Dove has put his body on the line there. He has affected the out, so that will be 3 down. He has bounced back up onto his feet. And that does conclude the innings. They breed him tough in North Harbour. And it is Canterbury that comes back just a little bit. They trail in this ball game by 3-1. Fine piece of play. So we see him lying down there. Well, we'll be back with more action in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. We've got some beautiful shots of the weather for you here at Fraser Ballpark. 21 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, light winds, and I can tell you the most perfect conditions for softball as we see North Harbour get going with a hard shot all the way out to the centre field fence. The centre fielder just took his time picking it up. So Caleb Rona helps himself to third base and says, "Thank you very much. I'll just stand up at third base to get my team going." And that will bring to bat Seth Gibson, who hit a home run in the first innings, just stepped up and walloped it over the fence. Well, he did that in the previous game as well, so it's become a habit for him. Caleb Rona now with 2 hits in the ball game. Of course, he got the lead off to get himself onto 1 in the first innings. And it was him that Seth Gibson hit home along with himself for that home run double. This time Gibson hits one hard. This time it's out to centre right. He rounds first. He goes to two. Caleb Rona comes in to score. And I can tell you, Caleb Rona is enjoying being on base behind Seth Gibson. Because at the moment, it means he ain't going to stay out there long. Pitarona it is who comes up to bat, number 16. We've enjoyed seeing him do the pitching for North Harbour. Most of the softball community will know that Pitarona can move the ball with the bat. This time it's going through the catcher. Seth Gibson runs across the three. None out, 4-1 to North Harbour. We are in the third innings, the top of the third innings. Plenty of action so far, most of it North Harbour's way. Canterbury warming up. Picture out in the bullpen out there again. So they also did in the second inning. Ben Watts, he's a quality pitcher. He's just having a hard time pitching around this, well, the top of the North Harbour batting order at this stage. Although Josh Kingy came in the 7th spot in the second innings and launched one over the fence. Rona watches two go past. Very much a batter who waits for his pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sees one hit the top of the zone for a ball. That's going to load up the count. And that's a nice job by Ben Watts. He strikes out Pitarona, who becomes the first out here in the top of the third innings. Seth Gibson 60 feet away at third base. Watches Hohepa Monk stride up to the plate. And Ben Watts proves he's not just out there to make up the numbers as he fires another strike past Hohepa Monk. And North Harbour may need to treasure this lead, because if Ben Watts settles in, he becomes, further into the ball game, extremely hard to hit. He just nibbles away at the edges. He's never going to overpower good batting lineups, but he can frustrate them, and does that very well. Day 2 batting stats. We've got North Harbour's Brock Attawell batting 500 after day 2. I would say he's only enhanced that now 2/3 of the way through day 3. Josh Lubowiski and Callum Bishop from Canterbury also feature on those stats, so we know Canterbury go deep in their order. They're going to need all of it, but that's 2 strikeouts in a row. Hohepa Monk heads back to the dugout. He's going to get replaced by number 18, Hugh Davies. A few other notables on that list. A couple of Inokas and a Ramaki. Everybody will be familiar with those names. But Hutt Valley's Dallas Clifton on an absolute in batting heaven by the look of it. 538. 13 at-bats, 7 hits. Going extremely well. And from talking to a few people around the diamond, as I got an opportunity to do, he is batting the house down. This one here is just ambled out to second base by Hugh Davies. He becomes the third out. And 1 run scores, that of Caleb Rona. 2 run scores, sorry, of Caleb Rona, and off the home run of Seth Gibson. And it is North Harbour that leads this ball game by 5 runs to 1 over Canterbury. We'll be back with more action in just a minute.
From the humble beginnings of a Wellington garage and with a good helping of Kiwi can-do, Resine have been proudly colouring New Zealand since 1946. Environmentally approved quality paints, colours and expert advice, all available at your local Resine colour shop. Our friendly team are here to help you get the best results for your project. With creative colours and innovative paint all made right here in New Zealand. You can rely on Resine to get the job done.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. There's a group of interested spectators here. Looks like the Southern Pride. Southern Pride, of course, have enjoyed their time here in the National Fastpitch Championship. Learned a lot, those boys down there from down south. And good luck to them. And Diamond 1 it is, North Harbour. 4 runs to 1 over Canterbury. Sorry, I got a bit carried away at the bottom of the previous innings, and credit to Seth Gibson with another home run. He's only had 1. 4-1 it is. Number 11, Leon Lummett is up to bat for Canterbury. He's going to be followed in the on-deck circle by a Jackson Watt. Leon Lum, contact hitter, is also doing the job for Canterbury, and that's dropped into shallow outfield, and Leon Lum gets Canterbury going here in the bottom of the 3rd innings. Jackson Watt will come up to bat. Just looking at some of the pitching stats here in front of me now. Pitarona out there on the hill for North Harbour has faced 58 batters and 15.1 innings of work. 4 earned runs for an earned run average of 1.83. That's at this level is very good. Very, very good. Fires one into the inside of the plate. Jackson Watt gets called a strike by Tony Kairuna. Just a couple of other points of interest on that pitching stats. Canterbury's Liam Potts, 2.28. 63 batters pace from 15 innings of work. Also very good. Leading the pitching stats after day 2. Our 2 visiting pitchers from Mexico. Humberto Valdez, 90 batters faced, an earned run average of 0.95, playing for Hutt Valley. That one just off the plate. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Jackson Watt up to bat. Samuel Villavazo, the other visitor from Mexico, playing for Hawke's Bay. Earned run average 1.11. So our 2 Mexican pitchers doing extremely well in this tournament. Runner at 1 for Canterbury, none down. And this one hit hard up centre field. It is taken out there in about 1 second flat by Levi Wilson. That's all it took to get out there. Jackson Watt, the first out. We all know what this man can do up to bat now. Number 8, Tyrone Bartarillo. Bartarillo watches one low on the outside, get called a strike. Nice one to hit the corner by Pitarona. This time he pulls the strings on it. Bartarillo leaves the bat on the shoulder. And Rona uses that change-up to great effect. This time it's hit straight back. And it is Atiawa that can't quite get his foot on the base in time. And just a little bit of a hiccup out in the infield by North Harbour. As we see the replay, you'll see Bartarillo heading to 1, but in the background, it's the runner at 2. The lead runner, Leon Lum. 1 down, Bailey Hamilton up to bat. This guy can erase this lead with 1 swing of the bat. If he gets the right pitch. A little bit extra venom on that pitch from Pitarona. Came in very quick. Whoa. Took a good eye not to swing at that pitch. Called a ball by the ump. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bailey Hamilton ready to go again. And he's hit this one hard. It's going deep through centre field. And I told you that if he lays 1 decent swing out there, he can square this ball game up. And that's exactly what he's done. A 3-run shot. Bailey Hamilton squares this ball up at 4 runs apiece. And I'll leave my crystal ball out there for everyone to see.
Oh, sorry. The camera, that was the one. It was camera 1.
Wonderful shot. Over the centre field fence. Scores 1, 2, 3 runs. And just like that, Canterbury are back in this ball game. Bailey Hamilton shows why he's been in the national consideration. And this time it's Josh Lubowiski loses balance at home plate after he hits it straight back to Pitarona to become the second out. Damage done so far in this innings, though, by Canterbury. Brings to bat number 12, Mitchell Finney. Things are all square here now in the bottom of the third innings. The shadows are beginning to lengthen. You'll be able to see them just heading out there behind umpire Kairuna there. And I can tell you, anything that's lifted into the air, into the outfield now, especially centre and left, is going to be very hard to see. This time it's Finney that has a hard cut at a rising pitch. And coming back nice and strongly after being launched out of the park, Pitarona. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Mitchell Finney, who strikes out. Nice comeback by Pitarona, but not before Canterbury, courtesy of a Bailey Hamilton home run. Now even this ball game up. 4 runs apiece between North Harbour and Canterbury. See what happens when we come back in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That is quite a display that both teams are putting on out there now. We are in the top of the 4th innings, and it is North Harbour up to bat, and it will be Brock Attawell. But Bailey Hamilton, courtesy of a fine solo shot over the centre field fence, who has put Canterbury back on level pegging with North Harbour. 4 runs apiece. And I said earlier in the ball game I wouldn't be able to count the amount of home runs that have been scored in this championship so far. But I could tell you, probably in the history of this championship, it's getting up there. Not that the pitching hasn't been bad. There has been plenty of really top draw pitching out there, but the batting this year just seems to have stepped up to the mark being offered by the pitchers. Ben Watts, who continues to go to work out there. Brock Attawell, who has several home runs and looks to hit another one right there. That is a huge foul ball. But this guy just continues to be extremely impressive on defense and on offense.
Camera's shaking because he's laughing.
I mentioned before, he's batting 500 in the tournament. He's just hit that one. He's got plenty of pace. Well picked up out there at shortstop. Fires it across to first base. And Brock Attawell becomes the first out. Here in the top of the 4th innings. This time, that's the home run of Josh Kingy. You're watching there right now. Josh Kingy up to bat now. He's a home run hitter from the second innings. So we know he's got his eye in. Stares back at Ben Watts. Ben Watts fires one into the turf. Goes to the back net. Ben Watts rears back, gets ready to go again. There's the pitch. High and outside for Josh Kingy. Watches it go past for a ball. Well, the wind is dying down to virtually nothing, as it's wont to do at this time of the evening here in the Hutt Valley. It's an absolutely gorgeous evening for softball. It is now coming up to 6:45. And we're in the fourth innings of this 5 o'clock ball game. Started about 35 minutes late, so light won't be a problem. We hit that one out to shortstop, fires it across the diamond. Again, in a familiar play, 6-3 for the second out. Here in the top of the fourth innings. Nice work out there by Curtis Dove once again. He's got great range. He's got a fantastic arm. And he's a good 2 meters out right there. Josh Kingy's not slow by any means.
Where are you going, Fitzy? That's it, fuckers.
He's gonna get a nosebleed. He's gonna need the fucking. He's gonna get the bends or something.
Yeah, first base camera looks like a drone. He's that high up. Curtis Tompkins, number 8. Once he's done his shoelace up, will come into bat. The vastly experienced North Harbour catcher. He's seen that one. It's Bartarillo that can't pick it up. Curtis Tompkins has legged it. And that is a fine out in the end by the Canterbury infield. They prevent North Harbour from adding to the score. 4 runs apiece as we head to the bottom of the fourth innings. We'll be back in just a minute with more action.
Jack Links presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Watch this.
Don't mess with other snacks. Choose Jack Links jerky made with 100% beef.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I've just got the lights on. They're not needed yet. The lights on here on Diamond 1. The sun is still reasonably high in the sky. It's casting some long shadows across the diamond now. Just another dime. Here's that change up. Pitarona just pulled the strings on that one. And Cam Watts, I think he's shaking his head because he knew it was coming, but he still couldn't do anything about it. We talked about how good that change-up of Pitarona's is, and that's an example of it. This time he puts a little bit more gas on the drop ball and strikes out Cam Watts. Curtis Dove, who tidied everything up at shortstop in the previous fielding effort for Canterbury, now finds himself in the box, ready to issue some offense on behalf of Canterbury. Just looking at the RBI stats, there's a couple of names from the teams out there. Josh Lubowiski has 6 RBIs after day 2. Callum Bishop from Canterbury, 6 RBIs after day 2. Brock Attawell, 5 after day 2 for North Harbour. And there's that name, Ramaki again. Seems to always be there or thereabouts on the stats. Hobbling bat around on 1 and a bit legs. Is still able to be a feature of this tournament. 1 ball, 2 strikes. On Curtis Dove. It is Pitarona, who just seems to have shaken things off a bit. This time it is the pitch that gets put down by the catcher, but they still throw Curtis Dove out at first base for the second out. Bringing to bat number 16, Callum Bishop. And Pitarona continues to make that change-up a profitable one. Gets a lead-off strike on Callum Bishop. Usually comes back with a hard drop ball in a similar spot. There it goes. Two early strikes now, definitely in a pitcher's count. Damon Creasy, 6 RBIs after day 2. And he has had some tournament with the bat as well. Back-to-back home runs against North Harbour in their previous meeting. Wellington versus North Harbour, Damon Creasy. Callum Bishop it is for Canterbury. 4 runs apiece here in the bottom of the 4th innings. This time he's hit one hard out through second base. And there's a fine job done by Callum Bishop. Standing up at first base. Leon Lum comes in to bat. Number 11 for Canterbury. Canterbury are a team that just do not go away on you. North Harbour had a 3-0 lead, then it was a 3-1 lead. And then with one swing of the bat, she's all tied up. Just like that. Pitarona seems to have settled down after watching that shot from Bailey Hamilton clear the fence out there at centre field. And there we go. The runner gets the jump too early, it is. Callum Bishop gets fired out for leaving early at first base. 3 down, 4 innings complete, 4 apiece. It's all the 4s. We'll be back in just a minute.
Jack Links presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Watch this.
Don't mess with other snacks. Choose Jack Links jerky made with 100% beef.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As the sun starts to get very low on the horizon, or at least on the hills behind us, and all the players now raising the glove to it as they're all looking into it. And it is Canterbury taking on North Harbour here in the major semi-final. Now let me remind you that one of these teams, whoever wins it, will be heading to tomorrow's grand final. We won't know who that's, who the opposition there is going to be. But the loser of this ball game's not out of the competition. There is another game being played, and that will be Hutt Valley will be playing Auckland. I believe, to decide, the winner of which will decide who plays the loser of this game. And the winner of that game will be the other grand finalist. And if you can understand that, you might be a better person than me. Fairly straightforward though. Ben Watts, who's managed to hang in there. Now, especially now that this game is all squared up. The last 6 outs since the 2 runs were scored since the 1 run was scored in the 3rd innings have North Harbour kept North Harbour scoreless. They'll be looking to change that. Number 24, Levi Wilson. Dare I say it, we're in the 5th innings. This game might turn into a bit of a ding-dong battle. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And this time it's Ben Watts. Not liking the call, but it's Levi Wilson. Shuffles on down to first base on the walk. He's going to get replaced by Caleb Rona, who's having a game and a half at the moment and has got his fingers probably and toes crossed already that he manages to get on base, because the man who's rapidly becoming his best mate out there is up next. That being Seth Gibson. And this time it's the bunt. The short game from Caleb Rona. Shows some decent speed, but not fast enough, as Ben Watts pounced on that one to get Caleb Rona out at first base. 1 down. The runner has advanced to 2. And that brings the man, Seth Gibson, who has gone 2 for 2, including a home run. Staring back at Ben Watts. Here's that pitch. It's to Tony Kairuna's liking. Low and outside. Outside the corner of the plate. Those are the spots where Ben Watts likes to live. Right there. Similar line, a little bit higher. Well ahead in this one now. Ben Watts Working with 2 strikes, no balls. And that one's just a little bit too far outside. Still plenty to work with, 1 ball, 2 strikes. This should be a heck of a battle. The way Seth Gibson is seeing that ball. This one's inside. Seth Gibson does well to stay off that one. Two balls, 2 strikes. And this time it is Ben Watts that wins the battle. Seth Gibson cannot repeat his heroics from the first innings and the third innings. Heads back to the dugout for the second out. He is replaced by number 16, Pitarona. Getting ready to go to work out there. Nice pitch. Ben Watts appears to be getting stronger and stronger and harder to pick as this ball game goes on. He's one of those guys where his last pitch will be just as good as his first. He just keeps working. Just a few words of encouragement to himself there as he gets ready to go again. This time he gets Rona popping it up into the infield. It is Callum Bishop at first base. It takes the catch. 3 down here now in the 5th innings. Things beginning to go by quite fast. The ball game is still locked up at 4 apiece. We'll find out what happens when we come back in just a minute. Fifth innings, 4 runs apiece it is in this major semi-final between North Harbour and Canterbury. And it is Canterbury that are going to, by the look of it, make the first change of the ball game. They're going to bring in a pinch hit. It looks like number 7, Ruben Elkins, is swinging the bat out there, getting ready to go. We're just waiting for the paperwork to be done on that one. And I have a compadre joining me in the seat. Chopper. Yes. Welcome along, Mr. Gerbes.
Thank you, Gaz, and great to be here at Sonson Field for semi-final day action between North Harbour and Canterbury. Always going to be a good game tonight, Gaz. Really been looking forward to it. Of course, these two teams, they played on opening day, first game of the tournament for them, 11 a.m. that day. That went down to the wire, to the last innings before Brock Atiawa with the heroic home run to walk it off for North Harbour. So this one is built to be a good one.
Well, it's already on the way, Chopper. It's 4 apiece. We've seen plenty of fireworks. It's beginning to go fast now, though, as the pitchers just beginning to assert themselves in this game. And so Canterbury, not willing to sit back and let that happen, have brought in a pinch hitter, number 7, Ruben Elkins. Chopper, it's probably a good thing that the coaches are beginning to try and mix things up a bit.
Sure are indeed. And we just saw before a shot of the photographer on side here, Paulo Pix, NZ. Just Google him. There he is. Fantastic man here in the Wellington region. Takes all of the photographs. You can find him on the internet, paulopix.shootproof.com, or just search Paulo Pix NZ, and you will find all the shots from the NFC and other tournaments as well. You're right, these two coaches, Paul Delator for Canterbury and Callum Ryan for North Harbour, very experienced. When the pressure's on, they seem to come up with diamonds.
Absolutely, and when this sort of pressure does come on, it is sometimes the coaches and the way they manoeuvre things out there, unseen at times, that can make a lot of difference to their athletes. So it is Ruben Elkins who's coming for a pitch hit for Leon Lum.
Yeah, what a great guy to bring off the bench too, Ruben Elkins, a long-time Red Sox player.
Probably the first one in the whole ball game to get a bit of bat on that change-up.
Yeah, I nicknamed it Public Enemy #1 a number of years ago, and for good reason. Pitaron is a tall man, and he throws it at a great rate of knots. So mixing in that deceptive pitch, it's just tough.
It is tough, and we have seen successive batters struggle with it throughout the tournament, but not with that one. He gets Elkins standing there and watching, strikes him out for the first out. That'll bring to bat number 21, Jackson Watt.
Well, there's a perfect example right there, isn't it? As Jackson Watt, the big 22, is about to come in here, as you've just seen that change up a couple of pitches before, it's stuck in your mind, and then he throws a hard lifter straight down Main Street.
Well, often, Chopper, what I've noticed is he'll throw that change up on the outside of the plate as a drop. He'll follow it up on the same line with a hard drop.
Yeah.
And just it's that change of pace that gets the batter. This time he's going to work with Jackson Watt, and we have seen fireworks in the first 3 innings of this ball game from both teams. 4 runs apiece it is, but things have just settled down, and the two pitchers are beginning to assert some dominance out there now.
Yeah, of course, North Harbour came into this match with just the one loss in the tournament, and that was to Hutt Valley 2-4. And Canterbury on the flip side, they picked up 4 wins and 2 losses in their round robin play. But the big win was the last one for them against Auckland.
Sure was. That was out on Diamond 3. I got to watch quite a bit of that ball game. And 5-4 over Auckland. Does tell the tale of how close that game was.
Sure was indeed.
And they literally had to almost run to get over here and sit down and get some carbohydrates into them and get about a 20-minute rest before they had to turn around and take on North Harbour in this ball game right here.
Yeah, I've got to be honest, Gaz, I wasn't a great fan with the change of the draw today, but in the end, the long semi-final between Hutt Valley in the earlier game just before this one, that made the big difference for Canterbury. So they should be good to go here. I expect a good game out of Canterbury.
Canterbury will very rarely give you not a good game. They are one of the provinces, you know, probably along with Hutt Valley, in situations like this, that you just pray you're going to get over them because they are tough.
Well, they're
mentally tough, and they are just tough. This time it's Jackson Watt. Picks the walk, heads to first base, 1 down. But Canterbury underway. And it is Tyrone Bartarello, a man who needs no introduction. Comes into bat. The evergreen Tyrone Bartarello just keeps putting it out there for his Canterbury side. Multiple world champion.
Grayson Keeper, the designated runner, out for Canterbury at first base.
Tyrone Bartarello is going to get the opportunity to do what happened in the previous innings if he gets himself on base, because waiting in the on-deck circle is Bailey Hamilton, who managed to launch one over the centre field fence to even this ball game up. A 3-run shot.
Of course, guys, this is the major semi-final. The winner of this one between North Harbour and Canterbury will go straight through to the 1:30 p.m. grand final tomorrow. But over on one of the outer diamonds right now is the other semi-final going on, or quarter-final really. Hutt Valley taking on Hawke's Bay. The winner of that game will play the loser of this one in the 9. Actually, let me double-check the time of that. Tomorrow morning in the semi-final for the men's program. That one is scheduled for 10 a.m. tomorrow.
10 a.m. tomorrow it is, ladies and gentlemen, to decide the other grand finalist. We still don't know who is exactly going to be in that game. Sorry, I alluded before that it was Auckland taking on Hutt Valley out in that diamond, but it is in fact Hawke's Bay.
Yeah, Humberto Valdez on the hill for Hutt Valley over there, and it'll be Adam Woon for Hawke's Bay on the other side.
Adam Woon, or it could even be Samuel Villavazo, the other Mexican pitcher.
They've got options up their sleeve.
They sure have.
I'll give you that as I see it. At the moment, the score is 4 runs to 2 to Hutt Valley. They jumped out to a lead early, 3 runs in the first, 1 in the third. Hawke's Bay have replied with 2 in the bottom of the 5th. They're currently in the bottom of the 6th innings. Hutt Valley leading 4 runs to 2.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The battle for the grand final is on. It has sorted itself out. We're into the last 4 teams, and we are getting into the later innings of both games. So that battle is on. This time it's Pitarona who asserts his dominance over Bailey Hamilton, the home run hitter from the previous innings. 4 runs apiece it is with 5 innings complete. We'll be back with more action in just a minute. Well, welcome back. Ladies and gentlemen, we come back to the sun shining on the legend, the sign, the Hutt Valley Dodgers Club here in Fraser Park. It's their home ground, as it is for Hutt City United. There we go. But right now, North Harbour taking on Canterbury. We are into the top of the 6th innings. It is 4 apiece. Hugh Davies, it is up to bat number 18 for North Harbour. They brought someone else on. Fooled me again. Hohepa Monk. Sorry, I got one ahead of myself. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Hohepa Monk.
Gaz, Ben Watts on the hill here. I tell you what, he can be very dangerous.
Yes, absolutely.
And the reason I say that is if he gets in trouble early, you have to finish him off. If you don't, and Canterbury have come back to level the score, he grows with stature as the game goes on. He's a player that'll throw a complete game, and he's got a heart of a lion, and he knows how to win. Canterbury, remember, they finished with the silver medal at last year's NFC to Auckland, so they know how to get to the finals. Big game here for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, the guy just gets better and better usually as a tournament goes on. But in this instance, he has gotten better and better. A shaky start probably by his standards. He gave up a home run to Seth Gibson in the first innings. But here he is, here into the 6th innings. And he is putting it out there for his team now. And he is getting better and better. I've already mentioned in commentary that it's dangerous to let him get on top of you.
He sure is indeed, Gaz. simply outstanding, and we've got ourselves set up for a really good ball game here, that's for sure.
Well, we've already had 2 tiebreakers on Diamond 1 today. Of course, we had the women's major semi-final, which Auckland managed to scratch into that 8th innings, courtesy of some fine batting in the 7th innings to get themselves a tiebreaker. Hutt Valley made no run of it, however, scoring 5 runs to close Auckland out. And it is Hutt Valley straight into that grand final.
It sure is indeed, and congratulations to those ladies. Auckland and Canterbury into the sudden death semi-final tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. That'll be a great match as well. Now, if my memory serves me right, these 2 teams face each other in the sudden death semi-final on Championship Sunday in Auckland for the NFC last year. And it was Liam Potts that had the lion's share of the pitching because Ben Watts had injured his arm from memory. That day, Canterbury won the game against North Harbour 4 runs to 2. So, Harbour maybe sleeping with a bit of a stone under the pillow.
Yeah. They always say you got to lose one to win one. And Harbour came into this game as a top qualifier. So let's not forget that. They have set the standard throughout the tournament and looked very good in doing it.
Here's the Wellington boys. They'll be all finished up for the day. A big day for them. A massive game against North Harbour today. It goes all the way down to the wire. Remember, they were down to their last out. Damon Creasy in the 7th innings with a 2-run shot to tie it up, go to extra innings, and North Harbour overcomes them in the end. But boy, oh boy, what a game for Wellington.
It was a stunning game, and it was Wellington that just couldn't quite bridge that gap. It was North Harbour that had gapped him, and it was Wellington that had come back. But at no time in the ball game did Wellington actually take the lead. But they did get things back on an even keel to force that tiebreaker. Great game of softball. I had the pleasure of commentating that one. Brock Attawell, it is up to bat now. 2 home runs after day 2. Well, I can tell you he's added at least 1 more to that tally today. And that was a shot over the left field fence that if it wasn't for those Pahutakawa over there, it'd probably still be going. It's one of the bigger hits I've seen in a long time.
I just see here Auckland played Wellington. We saw Wellington leaving the ballpark. Unfortunately went down 8 runs to 1 over Auckland, and that'll mark the end, I believe, of the Wellington's campaign for 2025.
There we see it's Attawell drops one on the dirt out there. It's unable to be taken. And with his speed, scampers all the way around to third base. And Brock Attawell is having some tournament.
Real nasty play here. You can see Mitch Finney charging back and a collision with Jackson Watt, the right fielder, as that ball will spill out. And poor old Jackson Watt, he's come off second best.
Well, you wouldn't say that often with Jackson Watt in a collision. Here we see it on the replay. Back, back, back. Both players only one place to look, and both players were looking at the ball. It is Jackson Watt that wears the glove in the face.
Yeah, it looks like he might have had a bit of claret coming out of the nose there as the glove with the ball and it collided with his schnozzer. And it looks like he's going to get some attention on it.
Yeah, they make him tough. In Canterbury.
Big Red, Jackson Watt, a.k.a. the Hammer.
Got the claret coming out, same colour as his uniform. Just going to clean it up a bit.
Yeah, and of course.
But in the meantime, I see Brock Attawell being replaced out there. Yeah. And
looks like he got a fat lip, not a bump on the nose. But he's a tough character. You did right, Gazza. He'll head back out, do his duty for Canterbury.
As I was saying, it looked like Brock Attawell was limping a bit on the way back to the dugout. There's the replay again. Cops it right in the face. Maybe just a bit of a lack of communication caused that out there.
Looks like one of those Atiawa Toa East Coast Māoris, red head, nice big lips, ready to go back to work.
This time Ben Watts gets ready to go. Josh Kingy it is. He's already launched one out of the pound in the game today.
Well, Josh King is off the back of a short off-season in the Czech Republic. Come back on fire with the bat, sustained a bit of a work injury, so took a couple of weeks break. But now he is back, and back with a vengeance.
It's good to see North Harbour setting themselves up. 4 runs apiece, a runner at 3. 1 run at this stage of the ball game could be extremely crucial. Pressure on Canterbury now.
You can hear the effort from Ben Watts when he releases the ball, can't you?
He's one of these pitchers, he puts everything into every pitch he's got.
Seven strikeouts recorded so far for Ben Watts, given up 5 hits, only 1 walk. Of course, the 2 big home runs.
Can't do anything about those sorts of good batting. He probably just regrets putting the ball in those spots in the first place. It's probably about the only thing. As he puts one on the inside of the plate, Kingy's up to the challenge. Manages to foul that one off. We've seen already in this ball game that umpire Kairuna has a liking for the inside of the plate. It's good to see that the players have made the adjustment.
Be really interested to see Ben Watts this week, Gaz. You remember back in 2022.
The whole Canterbury team were heading to the dugout on that one.
Tino Tata. Yeah, well, very, very close, my friend, to that pitch.
I'm not 100% sure if I agree with it, and I certainly would have swung at it.
I love it when a pitcher does that. That pitch race just maybe a smidge outside.
Yeah.
And Ben Watts goes to what? Too far inside?
Was that too close to the zone? Was that too close to the middle? Ben Watts with an ironic smile on his face as he went back. Doesn't take him long to get over it like any pitcher, and he recovers beautifully. Where was that? And I'd love to have we have the benefit of re-looking at these ones.
Well, I can tell you what, Ben Watts shook off the last pitch, but that one, he is not happy about it at all as Josh Kingy goes down to first base.
I think you can add several thousand Cantabrians to that one, not the least of which is all his teammates.
There's a good timeout right there. Cam Watts, the
very good
catcher for the Red Sox, very experienced, knows his pitch is boiling under the skin, and he's probably thinking about the Crusaders' record of the Super Rugby so far in the season.
1-1.
No, too soon, my friends.
1-1. It's too early to tell.
Too soon. But plenty of action still to come here at the NFC, Gaz, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, absolutely. I've been loving it. Canterbury at this stage, though, Cam Watts is probably the only one, Chopper, who didn't dissent that call.
No, you did right. You did right.
And you know why. He's the catcher. He's got to keep that relationship sweet with the umpire.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no, there's a long way to go in this game. We're only in the top of the 6th innings. And why take a break, Gaz, when you can just keep
talking.
Rolling?
Well, I had something to say, you see. I feel cheated if I drop out and I haven't said it. Plus, I'm going to forget. Curtis Tompkins, it is up to bat as everyone moves on from that controversial call. It is North Harbour with runners on the corner. And this time it's a hit out to shortstop. They take the runner at 2 and defuse that situation. And it is Canterbury. Go back to the dugout. The score is still all tied up at 4 apiece. We've just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Action aplenty, a little bit of controversy, plenty of niggle, and this game has got everything. Canterbury, North Harbour, 4 runs apiece. We're getting into the latter stages of this ball game, Chopper. What's it going to take to break these two teams apart?
That's a fantastic question, Gaz. What will it take to break these two teams apart? I tell you what, I actually don't know. Both pitchers seem to be on their game right now. They've settled right into the program. I think it's going to be the mental side potentially that gives you the edge. And we saw that with Ben Watts in the last innings, trying to get past that hurdle. At the moment, Pitarona looks good, but you know Canterbury are going to pressure him at some stage. So for me, the team with the best mental game wins it.
Absolutely, and it is Josh Lubowiski up to bat. There we're going to have a look at that pitch that caused so much dissent. And, well, Chopper, I'm going to go with you.
Yeah, we can see the catcher's
It's the
glove
catcher
is right
framing
up
it.
there, right?
He
Yeah.
gave himself away by bringing it back to the middle of the plate. And although Ben Watts was visibly upset with that call, I'm going to have to go with Tony Kairuna on it.
Oh, without a doubt. Look, Tony Kairuna, for starters, is a good friend of mine, but he's a level 7 international WBSC accredited umpire. He's been to about 7 World Cups all around the world. And if he says it's a ball or a strike, it's a ball or a strike.
No. I've always been on the mic for a number of years now, and the Blues know that Gary backs them all the way.
You can see right here, Ben Watts was not happy about it. Gives him a spray, but he does the right thing. Gives him a quick spray, then turns around. It's not personal. He's just frustrated at that point.
It's frustrated, yep. And TK, to be fair, probably handled it the right way by just letting it happen and letting it go and brushing it aside. He could actually have walked out there and said something, maybe warned him, or maybe even a little bit more, but...
Well managed by both players and
yeah. Let him let off a bit of steam. Pitarona, by absolute total contrast, has just dropped in another one of those legendary change-ups. Josh Lubowiski, who I can tell you is having quite a tournament. He is on all the batting stats, has been kept very quiet in this one.
Problem is, with public enemy number 1, that change-up from Rona, as it gets their swing already through, he sees it, makes good contact, but he's got no power.
No power.
In the swing, and it's an easy ground out to third base.
Already trying to back out of it. Mitchell Finney, number 12, up to bat now. This time he gets Finney to put the barrel to the ball. We had the word from umpire Wiremu Tamaki on those calls of did he swing or not. What are the umpires looking at? Well, it's the presentation of the barrel to the ball.
Pretty simple when you put it that way, isn't it, Gaz?
As it should be. It's nothing to do with the techniques of the hands or the elbows or everything else that we assumed it was. It's the barrel, the presentation of the barrel to the ball. This time it has been slapped out to second base. An athletic pickup out there by Brock Attawell, and an athletic dive by Mitchell Finney doesn't save him from being the second out here in the ball game, here in the innings.
As a copybook situation as the last at bat, he got Mitch Finney 3/4 of the way through his swing. He makes contact but pulls down a weak ground ball to the right side this time to the second out.
Cameron Watts, catcher for Canterbury, up to bat, swings hard at a ball low in their zone.
Gaz, we know that this is the NFC. It's what all the players play their career for. to win an NFC, National Fastpitch Championship. But this one's got a lot more riding it on this year. Of course, 16 men will represent New Zealand, the Black Sox, and head away to Canada in July for the World Cup finals. Pitarona, he was outstanding in the group stage for the World Cup last year in Canada. And he was outstanding from the hill. So you can see he's starting to fire on from that experience just last July, hopefully to take it to this July.
It's going to be interesting to see what names get drawn out of the hat on that one. But in the meantime, he struck out Cam Watts for the third out in the innings. We're going to head, as they head into the dugout, we'll find out what happens. And we're going to come back for the 7th innings. And we come back and see what happens in just a minute.
Jack Links presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Watch this.
Don't mess with other snacks. Choose Jack Links jerky made with 100% beef.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Well, there we go. This is the major semi-final, Canterbury v North Harbour. 4 apiece. We're in the 7th innings. We were wondering before what it's going to take to crack these two teams apart. Well, we still don't know. Wilson, Rona, Gibson, the next 3 batters up for North Harbour might have something to say about it. Ben Watts, who has taken a little bit of stick in the first 3 innings of this ball game, has now gone from strength to strength and is looking very commanding out there at the moment. But as far as getting something happening in this one, it is up to both of these teams to get some bodies in motion on the bases.
Oh, Gaz, I have some information to report from the Outer Diamonds. The women's quarterfinal matchup between Canterbury and Hawke's Bay. We have a winner in that game.
Did it? Let's see, we'll have to have a look at that. See if that...
I think the umpire made a quick call on that. Hit by pitch. Just grazed off the arm of Levi Wilson down to first base. Just to finish off, Canterbury Redhawks, they hold out to win that game 3 runs to 2 after scoring a run in the top of the 8th in the tiebreaker against Hawke's Bay. That's 2 tiebreaker losses for Hawke's Bay on the penultimate day here at the NFC.
This one hit hard out to shortstop. He can't take it. And it is Caleb Rona, who is having some game out there today, who gets himself and on one, and the other runner, Wilson, across the second base, bringing in Seth Gibson, who is seeing the ball at the moment as big as a coconut. We'll have to see what happens.
Danger man indeed, and you'll see here, this is the hit pitch on Wilson earlier on, and just grazes that elbow pad on the way through.
Sure does. You see that on our wonderful replays that we managed to get and bring these pictures to you. Those shadows out there getting longer and longer on Diamond 1 are starting to merge together. Soon it will be that the diamond is in complete shadow and the outfielders will still be in bright sunshine. Wow, congratulations to the Canterbury women.
Yeah, so they're through to the Sudden Death semi-final tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We'll be broadcasting that one for you. So Canterbury will take on Auckland for the right to get to the grand final at 11:30 against Hutt Valley.
Well done to them. This one hit hard straight to second base, who lays the tag on, completes the double. Nice work out there by Mitchell Finney at second base.
Oh, there's nothing you can do here, Gaz. That ball was hit on a rope off the bat of Seth Gibson and Caleb Rona, as you'll see here on the Atiawa Toa FM instant slow-mo replay. He's just caught nowhere he can go, but try and slide down to slow down the play. It's an executed double play by Mitchell Finney.
Well done there by Canterbury. North Harbour were looking dangerous at that point. Well, they still are, because in amongst all that chaos, Levi Wilson has made his way around to third base. Pitarona in the batter's box. He hasn't done much yet, but it only takes one swing of the bat with him, and he could change the face of this ball game. 60 feet away for Levi Wilson. Between him and another run for North Harbour. It is Ben Watts who rears back, gets ready to go again. Fires one through the zone. Pitarona beats himself up for watching that one go through. And it is Ben Watts beginning to pitch it, or not beginning to pitch, he has been pitching extremely well.
This is the moment though, Gaz. Top of the 7th, this is the moment right here.
Rears back, gets ready to go. High in the zone. Did well to lay off that one, did Rona.
You've got your most experienced athlete for North Harbour. Black Sox, Pitarona at the plate. The go-ahead run at third base. If he can cross at a plate and get the lead here, an opportunity for him to shut out this game in the bottom of the 7th. It's definitely the moment.
Pitcher on pitcher. A little bit of extra spice in that duel as well, usually. One does not like to lose to the other. Pitarona looking tall and commanding in there as Ben Watts rears back to get ready to go. Fires one through the zone. No swing this time. That one must have been close. We've got about 500 years of experience out there between Tony Corona and Mark Porteous. So we can have confidence in their calls. There we go. On the replay, there's the presentation of the barrel. Must have been very close. No dissent on that one, though. This is the pitch here, Chopper. The full count pitch. Here in the 7th inning. And he's earned himself a walk.
Well, you can see Ben Watts knows, and he lifts the velocity by a couple of kilometres, but just can't quite get the control here. Now, a better chance for North Harbour as they'll bring out a runner for Pitarona at first base. Maybe one hit scores 2 and not just one.
That's right. And this man coming into bat now, Hohepa Monk, who's batting in the last season or two, has really impressed me. Is fully capable of doing that. He's hit one very high. The centre fielders, all the fielders are converging, and it finds the grass, and nothing anyone in the red uniform could do about that. As the go-ahead run is scored by North Harbour.
I tell you what, this is one thing I love about Hohepa Monk. Textbook says you take a couple of pitches in that situation. He goes at the first pitch. The outfielder's set back, respecting the power of Monk, and he's able to dunk it into the grass in the outfield. But as you see right there, Levi Wilson crosses for the go-ahead run for North Harbour.
5-4, North Harbour over Canterbury here in the top of the 7th innings. And that means whatever happens between now and Canterbury's bat, they will get an opportunity to reply. As we see Ben Watts fire one through the tube. There's the replay right there of the hit. It's a moonshot, shallow centre field.
Yeah, you can see how the outfitters, though, at the beginning of that replay, they're right back on the fence because Hohepa Monk possesses such power.
It's definitely what gave him the room, as we see hit straight back to Watts at pitcher. Underarms it to first base for the out. 3 down now here in the 7th innings, but it is North Harbour leading by 5 runs to 4 over Canterbury. We'll find out what happens when we come back in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and this ball game has extremely tight right throughout as we see what continues to be an absolute gorgeous day at Fraser Park. Well, we're on Sorensen Field for the 2025 National Fastpitch Championship, and what a game we've had out there. It is North Harbour clinging to this lead now here in the bottom of the 7th, 5 runs to 4 over Canterbury, who come into bat. This time it's number 3, Curtis Dove, here in the bottom of the 7th. Now he's going to hope and pray that he gets to first base and gives the top of this order an opportunity to even up the score.
Well, Gaz, got an update from the Outer Diamonds. Hutt Valley taking Hawke's Bay men in the playoff match. Hutt Valley on the back of Valdez's pitching, Alberto Valdez's pitching. They hold on to win that game 4 runs to 2. So it'll be Hutt Valley that will be awaiting the loser of this game for the Sunday semi-final at 10 a.m. tomorrow.
Wow. Hutt Valley waiting to play either Canterbury or North Harbour. One of these teams will go to the grand final and one will go to the semi-final tomorrow morning. Which one it'll be, we'll find out probably in about the next 10 to 15 minutes, as Curtis Dove has initiated a decent sort of a battle here now against Pitarona, who in similar fashion to Ben Watts took a little bit of stick in the 3rd innings, and by stick I mean Bailey Hamilton came up and tattooed one over the fence, and there Pitarona wins that battle for the strikeout to even up the ball game at 4 apiece. But since then, Pitarona has been commanding.
I think the only difference between Ben Watts and Pitarona here today is that brilliant change-up is his public enemy number 1. 11 strikeouts on the day for Pitarona. 2 more, Baker's dozen, they're through to the grand final.
Oh, anything can happen. Canterbury are back to the top of their order, though. Callum Bishop it is who watches that one go past. Tony Kairuna, Mr. Consistency today. That line has always been called a strike in 7 innings of work.
See Curtis Tompkins drops down to his knees on that change-up. Has great technique. The assistant coach, Lee Rudolph, he's feeling it. He knows the opportunity is right there for his men from North Harbour.
It is. You sort of think 1 run's nothing, but in the 7th innings, you know which side of that ledger you want to be. Do you want to be the man with the team with 1 up or the team with 1 down? 1 to get. Callum Bishop standing up, watching the pitch. That's that line. And what a great job by Pitarona. 2 strikeouts. Chopper, I might hold you to that one. Leon Lum. What do you reckon? We'll put a jug on that he's going to strike this guy out, or I think he's going to hit it.
Well, Gaz, I only drink orange juice, so that jug is going to be quite economical
orange
for me,
juice?
my friend. But the big man is on the hill. and he's looking to take him to the promised land here, Gazza. 1 out away from a grand final showing for North Harbour.
It's actually Ruben Elkins who's come in, and of course he came in for Leon Lim in the last at-bat. So this is his second turn at-bat. Ruben Elkins, who has to continue the job now for Canterbury.
Curtis Tompkins behind the dish for North Harbour. He's called a heck of a game, Gaz. Used both sides of the plate and both velocity as well.
Yeah, he's just looked after his athlete.
There's their manager, Amanda Rona.
Can't watch. This one is hit hard. It's a high hopper. It's taken out there. Mark Portier says he's out, and that's going to end the ball game. North Harbour win a very narrow decision over Canterbury, now by 5 runs to 4. Brilliant game of softball, and it's all over now. Canterbury head to the consolation semi-final tomorrow. It is North Harbour who go direct to the grand final, Chopper. What a ball game.
What a ball game indeed, Gaz. And I just saw at the end of that one, Pitarona walks off the mound, cool, calm, shakes the hand of his catcher. He knows the job is not done. Yeah. He's here to win a national title for North Harbour. What a game, Gaz. What a game. I know you're going to review the game, and I'll give you my version of what the Beyond the Dugout player of the match is. You review it first.
Well, for me, it was a game of two contrasting halves. We saw the bat dominate in the first 3 innings to the tune of 4 runs apiece. At one stage there, it looked like North Harbour might run away with it, but you know what sort of team Canterbury are. They never go away. And in the second half of the ball game, well, that was a pitcher's duel between Ben Watts and Pitarona, with not much hitting being done at all. So you do love that sort of thing. In the end, there was only 1 run between them. North Harbour have shown why they were the top qualifiers, Chopper.
Okay, I can tell you who my Beyond the Dugout Ballpark player of the match is. We see a replay of the last out for North Harbour to go through to the grand final. Offensively was brilliant from Zeth Gibson and Josh Kingy today. They were the power in the batter's box, but defensively put it on with 12 strikeouts, sealed the deal in the 7th innings. But you will know who the player of the match is?
Not Pitarona.
Amanda Rona, their manager. She is the glue that created this team. She is the mastermind behind this team. If they win a national title, it's their manager, Amanda Rona.
Beyond the Dugouts, player of the match. First time I've ever seen it awarded to a manager, and why not? Hey, it's a team sport, isn't it? Absolutely a team sport. Congratulations, North Harbour. They go straight through to the grand final. Canterbury are not out of this yet. They've got to play again to try and earn the right to be that team that takes on North Harbour.
Gaz, just the games up tomorrow morning, where we'll be broadcasting 3 games for you tomorrow. The semi-final sudden death game in the women's division, that's at 9 a.m, Canterbury versus Auckland. Then the grand final for the women's at 11:30, and then, of course, the grand final for the men, that's scheduled for 1:30 p.m. tomorrow.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, join us tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock when coverage begins here on Diamond 1 from Fraser Park and Sorensen Field. But for us here at Beyond the Dugout Broadcasting, I'm Gary Rohihi. Joining me was Chopper, a.k.a. Jason Gerbes, a.k.a. Chopper. Sorry about that, got around the wrong way. But goodbye for that, and goodbye from us, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.